Hi, hello, I am Serena Saint-Sinclair and welcome to the Pomegranate Path. If you're new here, this series is a blend of mythology, psychology, and personal gnosis, and a mirror for anyone walking their own descent. In episode 2, we entered the descent and the shadow's first emergence. Today, we land in the underworld itself. I recommend that you watch the other episodes first since this is a mythic retelling and it follows a specific order. And of course, if this content resonates with you, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow and keeps the sacred work flowing. In this episode, we look at what does it look like and what are the things that you might find in the darkness. We are focusing a lot on ourselves, but this episode will also help us understand how we relate to others, especially when it comes to the anima, animus, projection, and neutrality. Persephone now stands in the underworld. The abduction is complete, the earth has sealed over behind her, and she wanders the land of shadows, silence, and strange figures. Hades appears not only as a captor, but as a mirror, an other who embodies the power she has not yet claimed. And this is crucial. The Greek underworld is not the Christian hell. It's first and foremost the realm of the dead, a largely neutral geography. Later traditions add zones of reward and punishment, but the baseline is neither good nor bad. It's just the place that all of the souls go. Heroes, villains, ordinary mortals all descend. It's stratified Elysium, Tartarus, Asphodel, but the baseline fact is every soul goes there. It is inevitable, not a moral sentence. In Greek thought, she goes into the unseen. It's chthonic. One of the words that I'll be using is chthonic, and what it means is earth deep. It comes from the Greek word for ground and refers to deities, spirits, and forces of the underworld, graves, and fertile dark. Think Hades and Persephone's, but also Hecate and the ancestral dead. Chthonic isn't demonic, it's a domain and not a judgment. Rites are often at night with offerings poured into the earth. This is why I call the underworld neutral. It's the realm of return and renewal, but the compost makes new life possible. It's wild, unlit, unfamiliar, but not inherently evil. Jung saw shadow not as bad, but as everything that we exile from the conscious ego: cruelty, shame, rage, creativity, sensuality, vitality. Calling it evil misses half its contents. Neutrality reframes shadow as a resource, not a curse. By saying the shadow just is, you strip away the moral panic. It doesn't care if you call it good or bad, it just waits to be integrated. If we call shadow evil, we repress it harder and repression strengthens it. If we call it good, we romanticize it, inflating into aesthetic poses. If we call it neutral, we create space to witness it without judgment. And that's when integration becomes possible. This maps directly into the underworld. Fear it as hell and you avoid it. If you glamorize it as edgy, you may get stuck there. Meet it as neutral, fast, inevitable, and part of your path. And then you can learn to actually walk its fields, learn and return. Just as Persephone encounters Hades, we too are faced with the inner other. Jung calls this the anima or animus, archetypal figures of the contrasexual within us. They are not literal genders, but psychic polarities. He was writing in a time that gender was very stark, so he uses a lot of feminine and masculine language. Today, we can hold it a little bit more symbolically: yin and yang, receptive, active, inner, outer. But really, they're shorthand for everything that we've split off and projected onto the other. Before we go any further, I just want to remind you that this is very much my own personal gnosis. This is a unique way that I have read the Anima Animus in Persephone's Descent. Jung didn't write this. The Homeric hymn also doesn't spell this out. This is my synthesis. So, this interpretation is my work, and if you like it, go with it. And if you don't have to. Either way, I think it offers a fresh perspective. To me, it's a bit like astrology. Every chart holds all of the planets. Our psyches hold both Anima and Animus. No one is only Mars or only Venus. We carry each the moon's intuition, Saturn's discipline, Mercury's quicksilver mind, Jupiter's expansive faith, Neptune's dreams, and Pluto's depths. We are a whole sky of polarities waiting to be integrated. The anima is traditionally seen as the inner feminine within a man, symbolizes emotion, intuition, imagination, and depth. When unconscious, she may appear as a muse, seductress, or projection of longing. When integrated, she deepens feelings, creativity, empathy, and psychic attunement. For the animus, it is traditionally the inner masculine within a woman. It symbolizes logos, drive, discernment, authority, and word. When unconscious, he may appear as a critic, tyrant, or projection of ideal authority. When integrated, he strengthens voice, actions, clarity, and sovereignty. So, when these are unconscious within them, they appear as projections in other people. Ideal lovers, tyrants, critics, or muses. We try to meet them outside of ourselves before we recognize them within ourselves. An example of this is the soulmate fantasy that we think someone else completes us. The authoritarian voice in our head that says, you must or you'll never. And the muse that might feel external, but actually is our own disowned potential. Integration means drawing these qualities back in. Animus integration is reclaiming authority, voice, direction, not as domination, but as sovereignty. And anima integration is reclaiming feeling, receptivity, imagination, not as passivity, but as inner depth. Jung described this as a three-step arc. 1. Projection. You see the anima, animus out there in a lover, enemy, or teacher. 2. Possession. You're overtaken by it, by falling in love, raging against authority, or worshiping or despising someone. 3. Integration. You realize this is actually me. The projection dissolves and those qualities are reclaimed. So, how does this tie into Hades and Persephone? Persephone begins in projection, Hades as threatening animus. Hades also begins in projection, Persephone as luminous anima. Through their descent together, they move from projection to possession to integration. Persephone begins as Kore, the shadowed anima, passive, innocent, shaped by expectation. But through descent, she awakens as queen, her anima illuminated, radiant, and fertile, her animus integrated as sovereignty and voice. Hades begins as shadowed animus, domineering, rigid, all logos with no softness. Yet through his relationship with Persephone, he encounters his anima shadow. Her luminosity unsettles and transforms him. Over time, he too integrates, his authority tempered by receptivity, his animus balanced by anima. Together, their myth becomes a story of co-individuation. Each begins as a stereotype. Kore, the anima, Hades, the animus. Each grow, integrating the opposite. That's why, unlike most divine couples, Zeus and Hera's endless betrayals and Aphrodite's failed unions with Ares, Persephone and Hades endure because they evolve, each integrating anima, animus, rather than collapsing under projection. For the Pomegranate Path, we always have worksheets and exercises after each episode. If you want the full worksheet, the step-by-step altar guide, and the gentle care devotion we always end with, head to my Patreon. It's totally free. Link is in the bio. Do the work and then do the care. The next step is I want to invite you to build an altar along with this series. It doesn't have to be physical. If you don't want one in your home, you can create a digital one on Pinterest using the collage format or Canva. The point is to make a space that grows with us as Persephone descends. I'm putting this all on a mirrored tray, which I happen to have. It's not a requirement, but it is a reflection of self, and I feel like it also calls back to our mirror practice. At the center, place a candle for illumination. Each time we return to the altar, light it with purpose. Think of it as both a lamp and a scrying flame. From episode 1, The Meadow Maiden, add something for your inner child, maybe a flower for innocence, a picture of yourself as a child, even a beloved toy. This represents Kore. For episode 2, The Cracked Earth, add something for shadow, obsidian or a darker stone, a piece of soil, or anything that carries weight of what's hidden. Now, for episode 3, The Two Thrones, add something that symbolizes your anima, intuition, receptivity, and imagination. I have this lovely piece of moonstone, and I'm also adding some shells that my husband got me from the beach. And something for your animus, clarity, voice, and authority. I'm using an athame that I have. It's not a traditional athame, it's actually a hair chopstick, but I think it's really cool, and I love that the little bead at the top looks like a pomegranate seed. If you would like a tutorial on how to do this on Pinterest or Canva, please leave a comment below and I will upload a video to my Patreon. Remember that this isn't about gender roles, it's about the polarity within us and how we can integrate both within us so that we are not bound by the binaries that society has placed on us. This series continues, we will keep adding to this altar, and you'll have a physical or digital shrine that tells the story of Persephone's descent, also your own story through shadow and integration. If you want to share your shrine with me, by the way, I would love to see it. Please reach out to me on Instagram. Before we close, I have some really exciting news. 4 of the episodes of the Pomegranate Path are actually going to be collaborations or interviews. First, I'll be talking to Jess Deora, I think I'm saying her last name right, about Demeter. And I will be joined by Courtney Weber for an episode on Hecate. After that, Jamie Wagner is actually going to join me to talk about Hades. These are all people that I have so much respect for, and I feel deeply honored that they're willing to come onto my channel and share their wisdom with me. If you have any questions for any of these individuals, or even me, please comment below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. And next week, my episode is going to be a launch of a new project called Beneath the Bloom. It is an interview series that I will be dropping a short introduction video to. I'm very excited for this series. It's a personal passion project of mine, and look out for that introduction video soon. I will be interviewing Justin, the Witch of Enchantment, one of my favorite people on this planet, and I cannot wait to show you guys what we've discussed. Today, we have seen Persephone and Hades, not as captor and captive, but as archetypal mirrors of the Anima and Animus, both moving towards integration. Remember that the underworld is not hell, and the shadow is not evil. Both are neutral, and neutrality makes transformation possible. And as always, may your path be sacred, your shadow sovereign, and may you always bloom wildly. This painting of Persephone honestly kind of cracks me up. It is a beautiful painting, and I chose it because of its beauty, but her face looks like she's just so over it. Like, she is done. It just, I can't help but laugh. Yes, girl, same. I'm also done. I'm also over it.